The cost of our debt has gotten so high that just the interest payments on the debt exceed the entire military budget. And it was just growing out of control. So the country was going bankrupt. It's just, a country is no different from a person. If a country overspends and doesn't spend wisely, just like a person, a country will go bankrupt. So the reason I'm here is because I'm very worried about America going bankrupt due to the corruption and waste. And if we don't do something about it, the ship of America is going to sink. And we're all on that ship.
Well, we're all on that ship, and yet nobody's going to do anything about it. I'm 100% convinced I am the most black-pilled person in the world when it comes to the debt at this point in time. Maybe Dave will talk me off the ledge. Maybe he won't. Joining me now, the Senior Vice President of Business Engagement at Liberty University, the great Dave Brat. Dave, it's very obvious that nobody wants to cut a dime. Nothing significant, of course. It's all, well, in 10 years, there'll be $50 billion. It's all the same games, but no one's pretending like there's an actual problem when the math says there's a gigantic problem.
Yeah, and just to review the math in 30 seconds, right? CBO, the Congressional Budget Office, has us running $2 trillion deficits for the next 10 years. So 2 times 10 is 20 trillion on top of 36 trillion plus interest. So you're at 60 trillion in 10 years, right? And so that we used to have the bond vigilantes. They'd come in and clean house, but the Federal Reserve, it's called the Fed put, they keep printing money to bail out the rich folks on Wall Street, and then Main Street suffers. So that's the boom bust cycle we're going through right now. Right now with Trump in, things are a little different. But on the fiscal side, neither side. I ran on it 10 years ago and got absolutely pummeled. I even brought up there's the discretionary piece, and then there's the mandatories. And the mandatories include Social Security, Medicare, Medicaid, all that's 2/3 of the budget. And if you mention that, you get your head knocked off your shoulders. But I was going up there to do the right thing. And so Elon, of all people, right, is saying everything right. He's not elected. And to the Republicans' defense, the Republicans are worthless on it also. But they're competing with the Tooth Fairy and Santa Claus on the Democrat side, right? They've never seen a spending bill or piece of legislation they don't like. So it's a very hard fight.
Yeah, I thought it was interesting. You just mentioned how your constituents treated you when you brought it up. I ran for Congress, and I had mentioned Social Security was the largest Ponzi scheme in human history, which is a verifiable fact. They pretty much lost me an election. I lost by 4,000 votes. The American people love their government checks. They simply do. Yeah. They love the government checks. And so I guess that's a big part of why I'm black-pilled, Dave. No one actually wants to do anything about it. Yeah, well, and, if you work your whole life, making the middle American family income for a family of $60,000, $70,000 a year, and you put your money into Social Security, no one wants to hear about reforms because they think they're going to get ripped off. Because that's the only experience the average person has is everything they do up there, I get ripped off, and the rich people get richer, right? The top 10% own 90% of the stocks and bonds. So the average person is not paranoid. But Medicare, Medicaid, the great hope is Elon with Doge. I mean, he showed us the tremendous abuse and fraud and corruption in the State Department, USAID, funding all sorts of CIA cutouts in all of our press. And, if he can find those cutouts on the mandatory side, right, the 2/3 of the U.S. budget, that's a hope, because then you can go to the American people and say, yeah, you're getting ripped off. We can fix it. But that's the only way I see to make progress. Dave, talk to me about foreign holders of our debt and pretend as if I don't have any idea how this works, because most people don't. They get confused. Wait, Japan, China holds our debt? What? Yeah. What?
Yeah, well, so just look at doing a trade, right? What happens when you do a trade? We buy Chinese plastic stuff and, some stuff we need. So we get the Frisbee and we give them $1 of capital. And so that they own capital, and then they got to buy something with that, right? So they can buy Pebble Beach, they can buy skyscrapers, they can buy farmland out in the West, unless the U.S. gets smart, and they can buy our treasury bills, right? And they come in all varieties. But basically, they'll hold our debt. I think foreigners own about 15 or 20% of our debt. So it's not a crisis at all, unless we get into a near kinetic war, and we're getting there with China, because they won't play team ball, right? They don't play nice in the sandbox with anybody. We've saved Western civilization a few times. We've set up the post-World War II liberal Bretton Woods order. We provide peace for shipping in the seaways across. We're paying for the Red Sea right now. We only have 4% of our shipping going through there. And we got 24,000 kids on boats defending the Red Sea for Europe, who won't pay their bill. And so when things get dicey like that, then China can start doing currency manipulation and selling off our treasuries and making our bond market do hiccups. But that only signals us that we've been stupid all the way along, right? We should not have ever put ourselves in a position where one country could try to tank our major systems, or monopolies and pharmaceuticals, and I could go on and on and on.
Well, Janet Yellen did go on and on and on. This is what she said.
If tariffs at this level remain in place, it seems to me it must produce decoupling. And I regard that as very undesirable. I think the tariffs that we've placed on China are going to impose very significant burdens on American households.
Dave, how's this going to work with China and the tariffs and the debt?
Well, for 70 years, U.S. productivity has gone down, according to the world's expert, Bob Gordon at Northwestern. You can go Google that. So productivity down 70 years in a row. It's now at 2%. That means wage growth is 2%. So Janet Yellen has done nothing to help the American household with 2% wages. And CBO and the Federal Reserve both now acknowledge we're only going to grow. GDP is going to grow at 2% for the next 30 years. So Janet Yellen, I don't think it's not good. Who cares? The data disagree with you, Janet. And that's why, according to CNN, 50% of the middle class people are coming over to the MAGA Trump idea of a new middle class revolution that brings jobs back, right? We fired 5 million manufacturing jobs. That crushed 5 million families. That crushed the manufacturing sector. That crushed all the services that surround the manufacturing sector. That crushed Detroit, where I was born, Lynchburg, where I am now, shoe factories, textiles, everything, furniture. They're all gone. What do you got to say about that, Janet? What's your alternative plan to give American jobs other than service sector and AI replace jobs that are coming if the elites have their way? So it's just utter nonsense. You got to do something. Trump's doing something. We got the right people mad at us, and that's the best hint.
What do we do, or what's it look like, I guess I'll put it this way, for me, the normal American, if the debt doesn't stop? Because I assume it's not going to stop. If we just continue down this road, what does a debt crisis look like for me? Not Washington or Wall Street, for me. What does it mean for me?
Well, it just means more and more government sector, which means more and more crowding out, right? So the government spending, the Biden green stuff, replaced manufacturing jobs, right? So we all send our money to Washington, D.C. The green game was basically just a tip of the hat in, code language for I'm on the Democrat progressive side of politics. And I agree in the face of all evidence, right? I think electricity output has gone up by 0.4% only after spending $2 to $3 billion on it. And so the productivity is not there. The government keeps growing. The elites control the government. The government jobs pay a decent salary, a high salary, double the American average. And it keeps crowding out manufacturing jobs until we're all in low-paying, wage rate jobs making 10, 15 bucks an hour. While the elites continue to get richer and richer and richer. The Magnificent Seven firms, if you don't know what those are, go Google those. They're all on the left. All the oligarchs and monopolists are all on the left. All the Fortune 500 CEOs, including Jamie Dimon, who's been weighing in lately about his newfound fear of all these things you're mentioning. Where were you 1 year ago, Jamie? Right. So all these elites, they've known it all. Bank of America, in fact, along with the World Bank, had a tariff chart showing tariffs for the G20, the richest countries in the world, have 200 to 300% higher tariffs than we do, than the U.S. So we just want a level playing field. We want fairness for the American worker. That's what we're delivering. And all political views are my own, but it's a clear choice. That's why the American people are moving a certain direction.
Dave, appreciate you as always, sir. Come back soon. I would thank you for coming to my YouTube channel, but I know how brilliant it is, and I know you love it here. So subscribe and watch. We're going to start really ramping things up and putting some funny stuff, some interesting stuff out there, some collaborations. Either way, my YouTube channel is officially the place to be. So stick around.